side to the story. Both sides of 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 the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106. Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body. In the service of my fellow citizens, I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. (2021 to 2030) is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 31st and final day of the 8th month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Put another way, it's the 31st and final day of the third month of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. And according to the Center in Miami, Florida, the season is heating up as they're monitoring 3 areas of tropical development during the next 5 days in the Atlantic basin. As at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, that's 1 p.m. Jamaica time, satellite derived winds showed that there was a broad low pressure in the central tropical Atlantic, producing winds to near gale force, but the circulation remains elongated with an ill defined center. Although the environmental conditions do not appear conducive for significant development, a tropical depression at the very least is likely to form later this week while moving slowly westward and then west northwestward toward the waters east of the Leeward Islands. Closer to home, a trough is still across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. Additionally, a tropical wave is moving across Jamaica. And as we always like to do, we remind you that when you hear of a trough, think of some kind of instability in terms of weather conditions. A trough speaks to clouding and rain or thunderstorms. In fact, a trough is always associated with some weather activity, either directly or indirectly. So that trough still across the island, and it means we can expect clouding and rain or thunderstorms. But in addition to that trough, there is a tropical wave, and that tropical wave is an elongated area of relatively low air pressure oriented north to south, and it moves from east to west across the tropics, causing areas of cloudiness and thunderstorms. So, those are the weather systems we want to be mindful of. So, unstable weather conditions are expected to continue. This afternoon into this evening, expect cloudy conditions with showers and thunderstorms, mainly across sections of northern parishes and hilly areas. It will be windy, mainly across sections of southern parishes. It's Heroes Day in the Philippines, Independence Day in Kyrgyzstan and Trinidad and Tobago, a National Day in Malaysia, National Language Day in Moldova, and White Rose Day in Australia in honor of Princess Diana. Hoy es miércoles el 31 de agosto 2022 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
Walk into Marjan's Pharmacy and you'll feel better. The service is clearly different. Marjan's Pharmacy, call 876-703-6335. The time by Marjan's Pharmacy is 2:15. Are you stuck in a position or phase in your life and wondering what your next move will be? Do all the real possibilities for growth and change seem just out of your reach? Well, the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica can give you a hand with locations in almost every parish. You can complete your degree in as little as 2 years, get practical experience in your chosen field, apply to one of the member institutions today and let them help you achieve your goals. Visit them online at cccj.edu.jm or follow them on social media at the CCCJ. As my heart is silent, as God as it shall live. My breath, my strength, my love, as my loyalty to give. Oh, breathe out of the evening, can make us strong and free. All vows and loyal promises, words and deeds to thee.
C'est mercredi le 31 août 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Wednesday, the 31st of August, 2022, International Day for People of African Descent, being observed on this day. We greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Good afternoon to those who have joined us. Norman Hines in St. Thomas, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Damian Cunningham, hello. Orlando Dillon of Kids Hub says the song brings so much warmth to the heart every single time I hear it, in reference to the National Pledge song. Orlando Dillon goes on to say that song brings us so much, I think it's the same message. Yes, same message essentially. And he says, thank you for that. You're welcome, Orlando. Andrea Peart says, good afternoon, Dervan. Good afternoon, my Mandeville peep. Happy Independence to TNT. In fact, what's the song they sing? Sweet, sweet, sweet TNT. Well, there's a bit of the history on this, the 60th anniversary of political independence in Trinidad and Tobago. There was a most powerful speech which was delivered on this day back in 1962 as it relates to the democracy of Trinidad and Tobago. Here's an idea of the speech that was delivered. Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. Democracy means the protection of the weak against the strong. Democracy means the obligation of the minority to recognize the right of the majority. Democracy means the responsibility of the government to its citizens, the protection of the citizens from the exercise of arbitrary power and the violation of human freedoms and individual rights. Democracy means freedom of worship for all and the subordination of the right of any one race to the overriding right of the human race. Democracy means freedom of expression and assembly of organization. Those were the words of Eric Williams in his Independence Day speech as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago on this day in 1962. Happy Independence Day, TNT. Happy Independence Day. In fact, the Prime Minister of Jamaica is in Trinidad and Tobago, has been there for a couple of days, and is the guest of honor for the independence celebrations in Trinidad and Tobago. But once again, this speech by Eric Williams, his Independence Day speech delivered back in 1962. Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. Democracy means the protection of the weak against the strong. Democracy means the obligation of the minority to recognize the right of the majority. Democracy means the responsibility of the government to its citizens, the protection of the citizens from the exercise of arbitrary power, and the violation of human freedoms and individual rights. Democracy means freedom of worship for all and the subordination of the right of any one race to the overriding right of the human race. Democracy means freedom of expression and assembly of organization. Once again, the words of Eric Williams in his Independence Day speech as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. That speech delivered on this day 60 years ago in 1962. Once again, happy independence to TNT, Trinidad and Tobago. All the very best. Hello to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those of you who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube. You don't need to have an account to access YouTube. All you need is a smart device or a not so smart device like a smartphone, a tablet computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you're going to need internet connection. And more important than internet connection is connectivity. testing connectivity is by opening a browser like Google Chrome and by typing YouTube. Before you can finish typing YouTube, the box will populate. And if you're doing this now, you should see this video trending. If not, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. What's on your mind this afternoon? We're always happy to hear from you. The numbers to call 876 922 4112, 876 922 4113, 876 922 4114, and 876 922 4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. We're all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Instagram, LinkedIn, BBM, Yahoo Messenger, Tango, WhatsApp, Snapchat, right across the various platforms. And we look forward to our interactions, which have already started. Let's clear some more messages. Audrey Smith says, "Afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere. Happy Wednesday to all tuning in from Southampton, England. Keep up the good work, Dervan. Take care, everyone." To you too, Audrey Smith in Southampton in England. Faye Weller says, "Blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners." To you too, Faye Weller. Norman Washington Grant says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm." Good afternoon, Mr. Grant. Hubert Fowlin says, "A very pleasant afternoon to you, Mr. Malcolm, and your listening audience." And good afternoon to you, and we hope it's a pleasant one for you too, Hubert Fowlin. Thank you very much. Sean Chambers, good afternoon. Damien Pollock says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Thanks for keeping us updated with regard to the weather and other stuff in the news. Keep up the good work, brother. One love." Thank you very much, Damien Pollock, for watching and listening to us here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. A couple of stories to update ourselves in case we've been too busy to follow the news. No breakthrough in probe of senior citizens' murder in Linstead. The police in Linstead St. Catherine are yet to make a breakthrough in the brazen daylight murder of a senior citizen who has been described as a good Samaritan. Earl Taylor, otherwise called Redcap, 69-year-old labourer of Wonder Lane in Bogwalk, St. Catherine, was killed on Sunday. Meanwhile, businesswoman Dorothy Horton Stern has expressed, well, she said greater emphasis needs to be placed on monitoring motorcyclists, and that's perhaps because of how it happened. The story is that about 10:30 a.m. on Sunday, August 28, Taylor was reportedly taking money to a financial institution when a motorcycle with two men aboard approached him in the vicinity of the Linstead Baptist Church. The pillion reportedly brandished a handgun and fired shots, hitting Taylor repeatedly. As he fell, his attackers grabbed the bag containing an undetermined sum of money and escaped. We are trusting that those within the precincts of where this crime was committed will, in fact, if they have not done so already, share the information with the police. We'll say more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM, the time is now 2:30. Jamaica Hospital Supplies has medical equipment for health at home. We have oxygen supplies, wheelchairs, digital blood pressure machines, adult diapers, shore comfort diabetic supplies, KSN's blood sugar meters, humidifiers, incentive spirometers, urinals, bedpans, leg bags, CPAP supplies, body fat scales, and catheters. Jamaica Hospital Supplies for all your home care needs. 66 and a half Halfway Tree Road. Call 929-2850. Visit our website for more information.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Colonel Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5, the text line. Same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So to go back to what we were saying before the break, we trust that those who witnessed that crime, which was committed in Linstead, St. Catherine on Sunday, that they will come forward and share the information with the police, or if they prefer to call Crime Stop, or just dial 119, or share the information with someone you can trust with such information. We hope the police will in due course be supplied with information and that they will act accordingly. Now, while the police have not yet made a breakthrough in that murder in Linstead on Sunday, a Westmoreland man has been charged with murder. 20-year-old Demario Campbell, otherwise called G-Man of Old Road, Whithorn, Westmoreland, has been charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm. Campbell was charged with the February 28 murder of Lamarck Allen, otherwise called Happy, a farmer of Logwood District, Whithorn. The Savannah Lamar police say about 12:10 p.m. Allen was at his gate when he was approached by Campbell and another man who had a brief discussion with him. The men then opened gunfire at Allen and he ran. He was chased and shot multiple times before collapsing. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Campbell turned himself in to the police on August 24 and was subsequently charged. Remember the other day we were making the point? Well, first of all, let's just make it clear that there's still a lot of work to be done. And we were saying the other day that having monitored newscasts on various stations and in the print media, both print and electronic, that we have seen an increase in the the time that it takes, an improvement in the time, the efficiency with which the police are able to bring forward those suspected of having committed a crime, and then within a short space of time being able to charge these people. We have also seen over the years, I believe, ever since that, was it 2010, that Tivoli Gardens incursion, ever since that time, that we have developed a culture, or that culture, if it existed, has been enhanced, where people have felt safer in coming forward to give up themselves based on what they are alleged to have done. There was a time when people would just hide away for as long as they could, as opposed to coming forward. But we have seen from back in 2010, police, pastors bringing in people who allegedly committed crimes, etc. And that has continued. People, sadly, that they have committed crimes on the face of it. Uh, but the fact that they are prepared to come forward and to stand up and face the consequences of their actions. So that's just a couple of the, just sharing with you a couple of the stories. Another one here: a 16-year-old boy has been charged for burglary in St. Thomas. A 16-year-old boy in St. Thomas has been charged with several offenses following a burglary in Golden Grove Meadows in the parish on Sunday. The police say about 12:30 a.m., a woman woke up to a broken window at the back of her house. It was later discovered that her iPhone and $20,000 were missing. The police were called and the cellular phone tracked and discovered in the teen's possession. He was subsequently arrested and charged with burglary and larceny, as well as receiving stolen property. Now, I don't want to say too much on this subject, but uh, the cell phones, the cell phones have been quite useful in and of themselves in helping to connect people and connect the dots. The cell phones, just so that we are mindful, even those who seek to grab them and run with them. Just remember, what you have grabbed is a tracker. And it's a tracker. And it's going to, the authorities will use that and track you and find you. Not that some of you care about that, because you think that you, oh, man, a bad man. Well, the technology is getting more and more prevalent, and more people are going to be caught in the dragnet. So those are a couple of the stories that are trending. Here's another. Crossroads tax office closed for AC repairs. 10,000 JPS customers affected by power outages, apparently due to a lightning strike. And we'll leave it there for now and go to your phone calls, 876-922-411225. I see Veril has been holding for 2 minutes. Oh, someone else has held on longer than that. So let's go to that caller now. 876-922-411225. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm the solicitor and 60 years old. I'm solicitor.
I'm not hearing you so clearly.
I am the solicitor. I'm 16 years old. I'm can say something.
What do you want to say?
You want to ask a question. The government of Jamaica, me not see where my frequency because to me, you have a lot of land you want things like
Well,
literally a lot of
well,
land.
before you go on, just a reminder that the government is not one person.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
I'm talking about Angelus.
So you're talking about the prime minister.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of homeless people live on the road alone, really live nowhere or nowhere to sleep or rain, sun, catch them, all them something like. I was wondering if you could like build a homeless shelter, put them into.
The Minister of Local Government has been on a couple of programs within the last couple of days, highlighting the homeless shelters that have been built and more to come.
And one more thing, yes, one more thing. We can, yeah, one that we can do something about the crime too, because there's a lot of young girls, very for young girls, dead since the year started.
Yes, we've had I don't know of the numbers in terms of the girls, but there have been, as of today, I think, or as of yesterday, 1,003 people murdered in Jamaica.
Yes, and about the rubbish that it's all about. There's a lot of rubbish in St. Elizabeth Ministry, like, you don't know nothing about that. And
Where
one
in
more
Saint
thing,
Elizabeth?
and one more thing.
Where in Saint Elizabeth is the garbage so that we can bring it to public attention?
Come on news.
So that's not your community then?
No, and in Jamaica too, there's a lot of garbage trucks all over,
But
and in Kingston.
but you don't have a garbage problem in your community.
Yes, I do. There's the gully full of rubbish. Everywhere I go, there's rubbish.
I wonder how the rubbish got into the gully. Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
One more something. About those kids that are going back to school, there's a lot of parents don't really have it. There's a lot of parents don't really have a job. You can't help them out with that, so not doing that.
Well, there are a lot of ads being run by KFC for the first time in my lifetime. Seeing KFC running ads, desperate for people, looking for employees. Same thing I've seen in Popeyes and elsewhere. In at Mothers had a job fair last weekend as well. We are not suffering from a shortage of jobs at this time, as far as I'm aware.
Yes,
It's a matter of those.
the prime minister still have rights to help the kids them go back to school. Like some parents who don't have it.
And
Grandma.
there's an announcement that has been made. There's some announcement that was made over the last few days of $120 million to go towards children going back to school. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry you didn't. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the call.
Yeah, but I was just asking that the prime minister help out is to more because me not see that part.
How would you like the prime minister to help you?
Me would like to help some homeless people and help Jamaica a little more. And me would like to see a better change in Jamaica because I am not seeing it right now.
Just remember that the change starts with you. That's very important. And you're not too young. You're not too young to make a change. Just remember that. And to be a part of the change. All right? Thank you very much for the call. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's go to Verol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And that's an assumption to make. He might very well be in Jamaica. Verol, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks. What's on your mind this afternoon?
Good. Yeah, if you check, I sent you some pictures earlier this afternoon.
Oh, I haven't. Oh, hold the line, please. One moment, please.
You're listening to. The time is now
2:45.
Become the COVID vaccine.
All members of the public should wear a mask, frequently wash hands, and practice physical distancing. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
You're listening to Power 106 FM.
Apologies to those on Facebook Live and YouTube who weren't hearing us for a little while because we muted the microphone to have an off-air conversation. Sorry about that. The mic is up and running again. Hello to Yakisha Ware. She is the secretary of the Jamaican Association Bermuda, who did a remarkable job while we were in Bermuda recently. Well done, Yakisha Ware. Good to see you online. She's an educator as well. She's a teacher in Bermuda, and she did an awesome job in her work related to the 60th anniversary of independence celebrations in the Jamaican community in Bermuda. Well done, Yakisha Ware. Good to see you online on YouTube. Let's clear some more of these messages. Errol Palmer says, big up, bro. Dervan, thanks for the Facebook page. Errol Angelia Christian, otherwise known as Angel, says, good afternoon, good night. Hello, Angel. How are you? Inez Ayona Campbell says, good afternoon, everyone. Is it me or the audio is off? Yes, we muted the microphone earlier on. And that's always the problem when you're getting used to a new system and you mute and forget to unmute. So it is. Junior Bailey, thank you very much for pointing that out as well. And Sylvia Myers, good to have you on board. Thank you very much. 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
Yes, couple things I want to talk about, but I would say the Honorable Princess, who called you just a while ago, if she's listening, little princess, I hope you know, say Jamaica is a slavery society, you know? We slave us as black people, you know, say, and have we, I work without the cheap labor, and when you get old, and you help yourself, they send your arms out, you know, and it's like a fire with you, you know? The Jamaica government don't mean us no good princess, you know? It's a slavery society. So I don't know if the prince, I pray that you're hearing these words, you know? And remember, better days are coming, you know? Not in Jamaica, but in the Ethiopia world, you know? A land with our natural wealth and resources, you know?
It seems everybody wants to set up princess because whoever made the call or caused her to call didn't properly brief her, and now you are engaged in the miseducation of princess. So poor princess, she's getting it on both sides. And you're not going to repeat it here either. You're going to move on to your next point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I heard what you said. I'm going to take a note of it from henceforth going forward, so that the moment you start, we push the button early enough so that whatever you want to propaganda you want to get out, that it doesn't get out on the air.
All right, give thanks to your opinion still, but I I don't know if you want to repeat it.
I'm not going to repeat that. You're crazy?
After what wrong I speak. That is not 60 years.
Well, it's not just.
Are you want to listen keenly what I say?
No. If you're going to talk to children, you really want to allow them some space to think for themselves and to express themselves accordingly. You don't come on as if you want to feed them your narrative for them to sing your song.
What is that?
Right?
the society do.
So,
Then to them narrative.
yeah.
Brainwash them, give them a brainwash education.
Yes.
With them look.
Who brainwashed you?
No, I don't brainwash. I'm standing in the strength and pride of an African sovereignty.
So you have helped me to make my point. So what you were telling the little girl was pure propaganda.
What is the propaganda?
Pure propaganda.
All right. She's listening. And the next thing I want to say, that she may direct this reasoning to, to give her strength, So the next thing I want to say differently, Honorable Prophet Crooks, every time I call the program, I'm always that it's about Africa, Jamaica crocodile land. So it's him no one left out of Jamaica that a film problem, kind name Crooks, But I, who originate from Africa, here, who born here in Jamaica, want to return home back to our farmer able. So we don't have a problem with him, kind name Crooks, crocodile land this, And man say a lion born in a crocodile land is still a lion. You know what I'm saying? So that is for you, Honorable Prophet Crooks. So tell me something now, differently. Embassies in Jamaica, the land where the embassy depends is known as like the embassy land. Like you have all embassy in Jamaica, Canadian embassy, Nigeria, and all of the embassy. Anywhere that embassy is, that land is counted as that country land. Don't?
Yes, once you step on the compound at the US Embassy, for example, you are on foreign soil. It's not unique to Jamaica and the United States. It's a universally accepted principle in diplomacy globally.
Only a pity you pick out, you to colonize, you pick out United States.
No, because United States is easier for people to relate to because more people want to go to the United States than those who want to go back to Africa.
That may I tell you, the education, get the brainwash education, find to British sovereignty and to America. Don't find to African sovereignty.
We gave you one example which goes for all globally. It's a global practice. That
so really, the Nigeria embassy down here,
it's not an embassy, it's a high commission.
Yeah.
Former British colonies, those representatives are referred to as high commissioners. All other countries, you have ambassadors and consuls general, etc.
Yeah, so that land where in Nigeria, right now, it is counted as the Nigeria land that also.
Yes.
Yeah, so when I say differently, calling upon our freedom fighters here in Jamaica, what if we should have gathered up for the Nigeria, knowing that yesterday you said the Igbo tribe come from Nigeria here in Jamaica?
No, I said no such thing yesterday. Don't do that now.
Is not you said that? Right.
No, I said, you see, that's what happens when you call 10 million and one shows in any given day. You don't even remember where you said what and who responded to you how.
All right, you never said that, no problem. But it is said that I and I black people here come from Nigeria also, West Africa, So we should gather ourselves, and that land there, up there, and then Jamaica.
Well, you're not going to be allowed to do that. You're not going to be allowed to do that.
Listen me keenly before you respond. Before you respond to me, I say. If we gather ourselves on that land, Jamaica government, headed by Prime Minister Andrew Bolney, and in cabinet, would have to show some recognition to us. Because Ghana and Nigeria, whom here not talk, so we come from West Africa, and then we talk about Ethiopia. And so we come from West Africa, the African population is here in Jamaica. So we're calling upon Nigeria and Ghana, to tackle this Jamaica government with them black subject to take us out from out of Jamaica back to our land of origin, Because history got to show say the population here come from West Africa. In a chain come down here. So we're calling upon our brothers and sisters here in Jamaica, to come them black subject and take us out of Jamaica, you know, and carry us back to the land of plenty, you know, a land with all natural wealth and resources, you know. Africa have everything we want, you know.
We hear you.
I'm starting up on Elizabeth, Prime Minister Andrew Bolness, you know, and I'm cabinet. Set the people free, set us free to return home. I take us to Africa and carry down here and in slavery.
Who is holding you hostage?
Yeah, that's the
Who is holding you hostage in Jamaica?
The government of Jamaica.
How?
Government of Jamaica.
How are you being held hostage?
Because they refuse to send home the African population. You know,
The government can hardly find funds to pay teachers, police, nurses, etc. You're asking the government now. You're asking the government now to find money to send back to Africa. You and everybody else who wants to go back.
So you think the Queen is not capable of doing that? Too much money they spend what they have for 6 years.
Have you petitioned the Queen?
We tired to do that, but they're not 100%.
Yeah. So what are you going to do then? If you petition the Queen and the Queen is not paying you any mind, what are you going to do?
Is Jamaica government respond? Because them are hold it up, you know, the two farmer government, and them run back Buster Manton and colleagues run back to the Queen and tell you out 1962, you know, back in that 60 years that Elizabeth rule.
All right. Well, we're sorry to hear of your torment, and we hope you will be able to move on eventually. Thank you very much for the call. Let's give some other callers an opportunity. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello.
No, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, how are you?
I am giving thanks for life, and you?
I'm having a serious problem with Sadico Insurance Company.
Really? What happened?
Right. In 1996, I took out a life insurance policy. It was Universal Life.
Yes.
Yeah, I took it out with LOJ. But somewhere along the line, the company had sold out to Sadico. When I took out the policy that I would have a debt mate at $986,292, right? And I took out this policy 26th of August 1996. And I've been paying since. Somewhere between 2016 and 2017, they cut down the payment. So I was paying $1,725, and I cut it down to $1,325. And they increased the sum insured to $1.933943 million. And I did not agree for them to increase it or anything. So what they do now
But hold on now. Do you know if this authority on their part to make the decision that you were not involved in, that could have been included in previous documents that you signed?
No.
Okay.
Nothing like that. I didn't sign anything, sir.
Okay.
I know they are going to give me a review, a letter that review my policy.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to get the 1.9 million that they said they put on it.
Yes.
But after PMI pay number $6,865.53 per month. Or if I continue to pay what I'm paying, we'll have it to option one, and I would have put on my policy to $142,401. So I'm paying my life insurance. And when I check the amount of money that I pay more over $500,000 over the period from 1996 till now. So I went up there and I complained bitterly about it. And you know what they did? They
What?
took a policy and carried it inside the customer church. I said some part of the fine writing inside the policy. They grew it up, you know.
They do what?
Grew it up. So grew it down, grew it up.
No, well, I don't know that we can make such a statement without the benefit of
Yeah, man, I report it, you know. Right now it is that it is being investigated.
who is investigating it.
No, I report it to the Financial Services Commission.
One moment, please.
You're listening to 6 FM. The time is now
3:16.
Gen Zers, we're back! Gen Z returns with a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're
Okay, sound here, but not on Facebook. No, it's the mute button. I had selected the mute button. I pressed the mute button so that I could have an off conversation. So that's what happened there, seasoned drummer. Yakisha Ware says, greetings from Bermuda. Thank you. Greetings again, Yakisha. You're welcome. Patrick Howell says, good day, Brother Dervan, and a great show. You're very kind, Patrick Howell. Thank you very much for your message. Franklin McDonald says, happy 60th anniversary of independence to Trinidad and Tobago. Here are two trivia questions. One, where did Eric Williams make his first political speech? And who introduced him in the meeting? And Franklin McDonald goes on to write, Dervan, here are the answers. Eric Williams's first political speech was made at the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies, and he was introduced by a student called Percival Patterson. Thank you very much for that bit of history, Franklin McDonald in Canada. Pauline Findlay says, good afternoon to you and everyone. To you too, Pauline Findlay. Roy Lawrence says, greetings. I see Minister Samuda has relegated the political parties to pick up garbage. And that's in reference to that plastic forum or conference that they had recently. and one or two of the suggestions or plans being put forward. And we're going through to try and clear the rest of these messages. Leo Gilling is in Canada with the Jamaica Diaspora Task Force Action Network. They're discussing healthcare in Jamaica, and that discussion is taking place in Canada. We also gather that another group of Jamaicans will be coming to Jamaica soon to put their stamp on another health center here in Jamaica. And we look forward to that. Looking forward to that. And we're getting information out of Florida. Cheryl Winter of the Consulate General in Miami, Florida, tells us that the National Dance Theatre Company, NDTC, which is celebrating 60 years as well, I believe, that they're having a performance in Florida on the 1st of October at the South Miami-Dade Cultural Center, and then on the 2nd of October at Miramar Performing Arts Theater. And we look forward to a successful time on the part of the NDTC. We wish them well, all the very best. And Franklin McDonald has shared with us another, well, this looks like, yes, this is a picture of Eric Williams himself, and some additional information to go with it. Thank you very much, Franklin McDonald. All the best to you, and take care. Junior Jabari, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome. Good to see you online. And a couple more of the messages coming in. Couple of back to school promotions. Let's go to Moralist says, good afternoon, Dervan. Oh, my dear Rastaman, not a bad request, but you will not be compensated in that way, my brother. You have a very long wait, says Moralist to Ras Lloyd. 876-922-4112-5. Text line same as the WhatsApp number. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Oh, yes. I am one of the persons who is encouraging the death penalty because God requires it. God said in Genesis that man who shed man's blood, his blood must be shed. That is government. Because if the government don't take it into control, what is going to happen when somebody, you kill my brother, never want to take it up on my head and become a murderer by killing you. You get me?
I hear you, except that we keep coming back to that point that there is no overwhelming evidence to suggest that the death penalty in and of itself being enforced will lead to a reduction of any significance in crime in any country.
Well, that is madness because, look here, when the person who likes to do murdering, who likes to murder, the murderer, when his life is taken, you can't come back and take nobody's life again. So that is madness.
Yes, but there are others who will seek revenge, and there are others who will find ways of getting involved and taking other people's lives, whether or hanging people.
Well, the point about it, another one, is that the one who gave the death penalty, they can come back again. That is very clear, right? And the point about it, if you don't do that, right, then people encourage murderers to keep murdering because them know so well nothing is going to happen. very clear. That is very common sense.
Yeah, except that we've had an improvement in the instances where crimes are committed. People are taken into custody and subsequently charged and taken before the courts. And some of them are convicted, others are acquitted. It's the nature of the justice system.
Well, one of the problem is that government need to take responsibility of people who are willing to give, what do you call it now, to witness, right? That government really protect them and their family. That is another matter. Then illegal guns. I think the people that don't have to keep them in prison long, but give them the cat and nine for a few times and let them go back. You know what I mean? Less money on the people who have to pay to the taxpayers. The other thing is, the gay practice should be condemned. Remember Sodom and Gomorrah? And God has made all things, all creatures, male and female. So we should oppose strongly the gay practice and homosexuality. It should not be encouraged, and when we understand that you have individuals who are encouraging that, and that is not right at all.
So how do you suggest the world deals with people who have made their choice of partners?
To discourage it. We who are normal should discourage it. Never will. And we need more people who are citizens, law-abiding citizens, to fight against this thing. It totally is against the Creator. Why he has made all things with male and female? We need to respect the Creator, man.
But what about those who will say you need to respect their right to choose?
They don't have any right to choose because God made them male and female, right? So the Creator, you must respect the Creator. Everybody should respect the Creator, right? Because it's how He made us to be. That is contrary to nature, total contrariety. By the way, I just want to tell you this. Sam Sharp is my relative, my mother's relative, yeah?
I think you have told us that before, yes.
I don't remember doing that, maybe remember not doing so.
It's all right.
Yeah, man. So, Dervan, I really have strong conviction on these things, right?
But you sure in your retirement years you want to concern yourself with the sexual preference of individuals? Isn't that likely to cause you perhaps to become depressed or otherwise?
Well, look,
Yes.
anything, my God, you see?
Mhm.
I mean, requires. I am prepared to die for it,
Okay.
right? I am prepared to die for it. I live long enough. Now, what do you think I am, Dervan?
Close enough to retirement, if not retirement age already.
I'm retired already. I was a building inspector of the KCSC.
I remember you saying that.
Work with the Ministry of Education, a building officer to another.
Yes, but you see, you have played your part. You have said what you have said, and your position is quite clear. I'm not sure how much more you'll be able to do to change that situation, the choices that people have made.
Well, as long as I live Dervan and I have opportunity to speak on in a situation like I talk to you, I am willing. I want to come on TV to defend these things. You know, I'm willing. I'm not afraid.
All right. Your position is quite clear. We have a scheduled interview coming up now, and we're going to take that interview. Thank you very much for the call, and all the very best to you and yours.
And thank you, Dervan.
You're welcome. Take care.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 8:30.
Hey, Dervan.
Hey.
How are you, sir?
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. In studio with us now is Marketing and Supervisor for Broadcast Services for the RGR Gleaner Communications Group, Nicarno Williams. Good afternoon to you, Nicarno. How are you?
Hi, Dervan. Not bad at all. We're good. We're nice and cool. It's a nice overcast day here in Kingston, and we're enjoying it.
And what brings you to the studios of Power 106 FM this afternoon, Nicarno?
Well, we're here to talk about exciting things, Dervan. We're here to talk about our TVJ's End of Summer Sizzler. That's happening this weekend at Emancipation Park this Friday.
I see. Why is this so special? Why is this so significant?
You know, we haven't done a Smile Summer Sizzler since 2019. That was the last one. And that was a fabulous event at Emancipation Park. Persons came out, they were able to, see their favorite Smile personalities live in person and enjoy the day with lots of fun activities. This time around, we're not just having our Smile Summer Sizzler at Emancipation Park with activities. TVJ will be celebrating its 25th anniversary. So we're kicking off our 25th anniversary celebrations with this event, giving the public a chance to come in and participate with us.
I see. Well, what does that look like? What kind of features will you have in the park? And when is this, by the way? Did I ask that?
Yeah, this is on Friday, September 2nd, and
Okay.
we're gonna be broadcasting. We're gonna be doing a radio broadcast live from 1 to 5 with Radio
That's a
Jamaica.
2 live crew.
Right, the 2 live crew will be there from 1 to 5,
Hmm.
and TVJ will start live on air from 4 to 7. So there's a 1 hour overlap. But outside of the live broadcast, we're gonna have games on location. Persons can come to win prizes from our lovely sponsors, and we have some nice sponsors with us. There's Massive Distribution. They'll be there doing sampling and giveaways as well. Caribbean Dreams will be there with one of their new products that they're going to be promoting. I won't let the cat out the bag. I'll allow them to do that on the day. We have Digicel that will be there with us. That's always a fun time when Digicel comes around. And we are also going to have not only Digicel, Massey, and Caribbean Dreams, but we will have Kendall there with us as well, doing sampling of their tin food. So, persons they're not just coming for the fun and games, but our sponsors will be there with prizes for them to win, with things for them to sample. And, when you say TVG and events, we're talking about good prizes. We're doing games that persons can enjoy. We have a little football shoot-off that the kids will be able to participate in. We have some esports that kids are also going to love. And there's a word search challenge. If you think you're good at puzzles, come on by Emancipation Park. If you can beat your opponents for that word search puzzle challenge, you have the opportunity to win great prizes.
Yeah. And they say if there's no picture to show, you weren't there. For those who love to take pictures, is there an opportunity, or will there be opportunities for some kind of a photo booth, especially in promoting TVJ 25?
Definitely. We have a photo area that is dedicated for that. Persons who come by, they can get an opportunity to take their pics by our TVJ 25. I'm not even going to tell you what's going to make up the 25, but we have an area for photos. It's a nice surprise. I think persons will be intrigued to come by and take pictures there, and you can post on your social media pages to show that you were at our event. We're also going to have on location, as I said before, the Smile crew. They're doing.
So you're starting bright and early Friday morning then?
No.
Oh.
No. So the Smile team comes out in the evening for this event.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So on Friday, the Smile team will be there in the evening for the End of Summer Sizzler.
I see. And that's going to be from about 4 to 7.
4 to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
And what about the entertainment? Because I know there's no event happens in Jamaica or involving Jamaicans unless there is entertainment.
Yeah, well, you know how we do at TBJ. When we have an event on the road, we have to make sure that people are entertained, people are engaged, and we have some good artists. There's Mortimer, there's Shalom, there's General Agree, and we're still in discussions with a couple of us as well. So it's gonna be a fun evening. General Agree, big man in the '90s, big man in the 2000s. He's one of them that's a good crowd pleaser. We are definitely looking forward to that event.
Yeah, no, I know the group had the back to school bazaar not so long ago,
Yes, recently
and
also.
I'm just wondering, will maybe the word game that you mentioned would be a nice connection there in terms of with this period of time going back to school. Are you likely to have anything connected or related to, or will it just be all about TVJ 25?
TBJ 25 and the sponsors.
Okay.
Some of the sponsors might have school items that they'll be giving away.
Right.
We won't we won't predict or plan what
Yeah.
they'll be giving away for them, but I know for a
But
fact.
that would make sense anyway,
Yeah, it would.
because it's a time of year when parents and guardians are trying to maximize the dollar, so to speak, and coming up with creative ways of ensuring that their children will be able to function.
All right, and that's one of the things that I know Massey is focusing on, because Massey has some specials that they're going to be promoting
Mhm.
on items for breakfast and so forth. And I know that when at our back to school bazaar, as you mentioned, they did a lot of giveaways with products for school. Some persons, it's possible. I know Digicel is also a company that has a lot of giveaways, and Digicel also is big on back to school. So we're hoping to see products from them for that as well.
Excellent. So, listeners, the word is it's time for the Smile End of, as in Smile Jamaica. It's time for the Smile End of Summer Sizzler. It's happening this Friday in Emancipation Park. And no, you're not going to see them in the park Friday morning, but definitely Friday afternoon into evening.
Right.
And that starts about 4 o'clock and goes on till 7. And that will be before that though, the two live crew will be live
From 1 to
from
5.
from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
So that essentially will kick off the broadcasting within the park.
There you go.
And so when do the festivities, in a manner of speaking, start in terms of the sponsors, promotional activities on the ground, the games, the fun and games?
The sponsors will be there from 1 o'clock with the Two Life Crew, and
Yes.
we'll be there with the fun and activities from that time as well. So it's a full afternoon of fun and activities from 1 till 7 p.m.
Okay, and I would imagine the entertainment, the live performances might very well be close to
Closer to the end.
closer to evening.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. And once again, let's remind our listeners of the sponsors who are on board.
Yep. There is Kendall,
Mhm.
there is Massey Distribution, there is Digicel, and of course Jamaican Teas.
And for those listening to us now, maybe they're uh, business entities and they're thinking, I didn't know TVJ was going to be doing something. I wonder if I can get on in terms of advertising, promotion,
Sure.
being a part of it, sponsorship.
All right, they can feel free to give our marketing department a call at 926-1100. Again, that's 926-1100, and just ask for the TVJ marketing department, and one of our representatives there will be very happy and willing to give them information.
And in this time when we are living with COVID-19 and we have had more than enough experience by now in terms of handling ourselves, anything in particular that those attending who plan to be in Emancipation Park need to know about attending this event in Emancipation Park?
Well, we will have hand sanitization available, and we encourage persons to still, continue to sanitize, wear your masks, and maintain your physical distance where possible. That's something that we still encourage persons to do.
Yes, indeed, and it's still the fun will not be taken away because we have become accustomed by now to having fun while still giving due regard to the protocols.
Yeah, we are mindful of this of the current situation. We're mindful that persons are still getting ill. I mean, we hear the reports every day. We
Mhm.
still have persons in the country with COVID-19. We still have persons hospitalized from COVID-19. So it's a reality that we have to live with, and
Yes.
we have found a way, and we have been finding ways to still give persons an opportunity to enjoy themselves without putting yourselves at great risk.
And just going beyond Friday for a bit,
Mhm.
are we likely to see a rollout of different promotional activities
Definitely.
for TVJ celebrating
Definitely.
25 years?
Definitely. This is just the start.
Okay.
This is just the start. We have a number of other events planned throughout the year to
Mhm.
commemorate its 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
We won't be letting in the cats out the bag just yet. We're going to keep those until the appointed times. For those of you listening, come on out on the 2nd of September. That's this Friday to Emancipation Park, and we'll kick off the celebrations for the 25th anniversary. But you'll be told what next.
Indeed.
In due course.
We're looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Nicarno. All the very best to you and the team as you get ready for Smile End of Summer Sizzler in Emancipation Park this Friday, starting with the Two Live crew on location in the park. The sponsors will be out in their numbers. The Summer Sizzler broadcast at starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and going on till 7, and it will be live on TVJ.
Yes, it will.
All right. Looking forward to that. And I would imagine for the period of celebration, we're maybe going to see some clips and this and
Yeah, man.
all kinds of. We can't wait. We can't wait. And well, we thank you very much. It's also a good way to get ready. The children invariably look forward to some kind of activity
To close out the
to
summer.
close. Right.
That's true.
So-
That's the thing, Dervan. When you think about the summer and then you think about the end of it, you're looking forward to the traffic that comes with September. You're looking forward to the back to school hustle and
Yes.
waking up early and going back
Yes.
into class. This is our way of giving you an opportunity to just close out the summer period with one last fun activity before we return to all that comes with September.
Oh yes, I know the cameras will be out and the microphones will be out and the photographers will be out because
Definitely.
it's going to be a beehive of activity. So let's have some more fun for the rest of the summer because once once the new academic year kicks in and everything that comes with that, picking up children, transportation, yeah. So let's have some fun in Emancipation Park this Friday. This Friday, the Two Live crew will be broadcasting from 1 to 5, and then we'll have the live end of summer Sizzler broadcast from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it will be live on TVJ. So you can choose to be in Emancipation Park live and in living color, or watch it in color.
In HD.
In
Remember the
HD.
TVJ
And
streams in HD. We broadcast in HD.
no, that's an important point. That's an important point to make. And I suspect in this 25th year of TVJ, we are likely to see some very good developments going forward. I can feel it.
Definitely.
Yeah, looking forward. Well, thank you very much, Nicarno. Get some rest because you are going to need all that energy. You have, well, I can't say you have tomorrow because you still have to work every day anyway.
There we go.
So, but get ready for the burst of energy and liberation, in a sense, of the children and everybody else who will be there in the park to have fun.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you so much. All the best.
And thank you, Dervan.
It's been a pleasure. Nick Arno Williams is Marketing and Special Project Supervisor for Broadcast Services at the RGR Gleaner Communications Group. And he just gave us a preview of the Smile End of Summer Sizzler taking place at Emancipation Park on Friday. Check it out. In the meantime, let's send you to a break right here on Both Sides of the Story.
Yeah, well, respect.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5, il est 4 heures moins 24. Moins 14. 现在几点了？4点14分. 14 minutes to 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Thank you very much for staying with us. And hello to Jacqueline Simmons. Good afternoon to you. Good to see you. Good afternoon, Cherry Henry, who's always or more often than not with us. Thank you very much. Some more messages. Patrick Howell says, Dervan, some years ago, a proposal was put forward by an investor to set up a garbage to energy company, and I believe it was the PNP who rejected the proposal. I could be wrong with the party. Well, we do know there have been many or several proposals over the years that have not gone anywhere under both administrations, actually. Proposals, what we're going to do with Riverton City and what we're going to do in converting, in recycling, and so on and so forth. And we still have issues in that regard. Patrick Howell asks, was it Eric Williams who said 1 from 10 leave 0? DWL. No, I don't think it was. Was he the one? Or was it? Well, let me hold back because I'm not remembering exactly who said it, but I remember that particular phrase. Patrick, because I read it, because I wasn't around at that time. Patrick Howell says, tell the caller that the person who applies the Cat o' 9 would be a dead man before he leaves the prison or even outside the prison. These criminals would track him down. He would have to wear a mask. And Patrick Howell was asking for a little more volume in our conversation with Nick Carno. Sorry about that, Patrick. Natalie Winter says, great afternoon all from Washington Gardens, Kingston, Jamaica. Enjoying the discourse on YouTube. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Natalie Winter, for your message on YouTube. All the very best. Dr. Sharon Wiles, good afternoon to you. She says, greetings, Sir Dervan Malcolm and all listeners. To you too, Dr. Sharon Wiles. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Greetings.
What you were talking about long before me, long after me holding, was about democratic or Democrat. Where everyone is equal, right is guaranteed up to the top.
No, it was a speech by Eric Williams that I was reading. Because today is the 60th anniversary of independence of Trinidad and Tobago.
And what was he promoting? Democratic socialism or what?
No, just straight democracy.
Okay, and now that our Prime Minister is over there, one day we will adopt that word and apply it to Jamaicans when he come back here. And you spend a good time explaining what democrats mean, but the longest word that you use now you will say.
No, I didn't explain what democracy is. What I did was to read Eric Williams's words. Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. Democracy means the protection of the weak against the strong. Democracy means the obligation of the minority to recognize the right of the majority. Democracy means the responsibility of the government to its citizens, the protection of the citizens from the exercise of arbitrary power and the violation of human rights and individual rights. Democracy means freedom of worship for all and the subordination of the right of any one race to the overriding right of the human race. Democracy means freedom of expression and assembly of organization. The words of Eric Williams in his Independence Day speech as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago on this day in 1962.
Right, so it was not you who was giving the meaning of democracy, because I was going on to say the language word that we use in that class, you did not explain it. You remember which word?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Elonginator or elongated.
That's not in the man's speech.
I know in that class you use that word, which I think you should explain when you come on using such words as a teacher. You have to explain it to the students. All who know we inform, who don't know we learn.
Yeah, it simply means long.
I agree.
That's what it means. It means long.
All right. All right. Sometimes it becomes annoying in repeating and going over the same thing over and over. I need to move to chapter 2 now, when he explains how are we going to be prepared to go home and what is expected of us when we get there. Because if you are going to Africa, you have to make sure you carry seeds and tools and a lot of money to go and employ youths over there who are sometimes hungry and need employment. We cannot go over there and be parasites, using such a strong word, on this country. So he first will have to change his European name. Can't go back to that name. So we have to change that name, learn one of the languages that is spoken there, that when he go over there and people, he can communicate with the ones that want, in a more knowledgeable way, that they understand each other. So there are a lot of homework we have to do before we go home. So you need to move from that stage now and go to chapter 2. Because sometimes I tell you too, he really not reaching anywhere. I'm stuck in one year.
Yes.
So you need on the next start, because you still the teacher gets annoyed. People are getting annoyed based on the pick up on the road. Because a good thing can become bad if you abuse it, you know.
True.
So you come now next time and tell us, all right, when we get there, what is expected of us? Because right now they are calling us foreigners. Because we go back with our European and Western name and language. And there's no communication that is going to be getting us anywhere that we can share with each other.
Yes.
So you have to get those things in place and don't depend on a mass repatriation. Because if we post Mrs. Queen and call her all kind of names, and then she get all kind of feeling and say, you know what, send one ship up to them, get them rid of them off of me back. I will not be going on that ship. Because it's quite easy for some suicidal man who thinks about his side to come back that ship. No. And just sink everybody underneath it and Queen laugh and get it all away. So we have to plan our way forward.
I don't know that Queen would laugh at such a disaster. But
well, that's your opinion. You can
So you're glad to get people who are coaching and call him all kind of names. The Black Star Line that we were depending on, I don't have it in Liberia. But that is not going to be coming here anytime soon. Yes. So we have to plan our way out now, depend on government. Because you see, if the government get rid of Rasta out of Jamaica, the country are going to lose a lot of foreign exchange. Because tourists don't just come here for land, sand, and sea, and sunshine. Because there are a lot of other places. Yes. So they come here for the people, the culture, and Rasta and a whole, which give us them the kind of food we don't normally not get nowhere else. So it's music, food, music, anything else? The culture. Never mind. I'm sorry, Askar, but please continue. Oh boy. No man, everything is everything. You know, so tourists they come, the country will be losing a lot of foreign exchange. The government is in no hurry to get rid of Rasta out of Jamaica. So if we want to go, we have to make certain we pull up with all the Rastas internationally to get Rasta out there, was enough. Mm-hmm. So we need to unite, get rid of Bobo, get rid of Bingy, and get rid of 12 tribe, and get rid of all Orthodox, and let's deal with the EWF when Majesty set up the Ethiopian World Federation, and let's go under that banner. And then all Rasta will be called Rasta. And none are going to judge it as Christ. And no one are going to God as the Christ. But we are under the name of Selassie the first. So if we approach it from that, we will be achieving much more than you take it out to yourself, because you can't change the world. Think and the brain tried it and they did not reach nowhere. So we all have to. But careful how you say that, Raskava, because in almost every development in the world, virtually every development in the world, it invariably started out of the power of one individual making a difference. Even if you had crowd support, it took at least one individual to mobilize that kind of support. So the power of one, as I understand it, is an indication. It equals to the multitude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the idea and the thoughts will come from one. Right. However, to get what is needed done, we are going to need the support of everyone. That one man can feel for one to be taking it on that way. And when we write to the Queen, in her response, it was said that slavery was not a crime in those days. Yes, context. Having said that, we definitely know what their intentions are. So we can call up on her and pressure to do it and expect that she are going to speak. We have to start paving the way and plan our way out a year if we want to get rid of this slave master plantation. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks. Oh, let's take the break and come back.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is 4 o'clock.
Under the law helps you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. We've been doing it for 50 years, and that's right. The program brought to you on Wednesdays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and 9:55 p.m. Wednesdays on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4 heures. 现在几点了？4点。 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all listening to both sides of the on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, well, let's find out. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
How are you doing, Mr. Malcolm?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm doing good. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
I love your show because hearing some people's comments on certain situations, it really made me have to laugh. Just like how you just laughed out loud the show with the last caller, that's father. But when I hear the young lady that called before, that was going on and on about the government needs to do this for the community and find jobs and stuff like that. And I always look at it and said how a lot of people don't take responsibility for certain things that happen to them. And just like how you point out that, there are jobs out there. There's not a shortage of jobs that's out there. Cases, looking for people, mothers looking for people, and Popeyes. And I'm saying that is some of these people, young people especially, are they putting in the work? Are they going out there and searching for the jobs instead of blaming the government for every single thing that them can get?
Yeah, well, the government will always be the subject of the day, every single day, day in, day out, because the state ultimately has to give an account of its stewardship. So if people are happy, it's government. If people are sad, it's government. And so on and so forth. You're not going to get away from that. What government has to do is to recognize that it's in the business of management. And the great management guru Peter Drucker once said, those who seek to lead but fail to manage will become either irrelevant or dangerous, not only to their organization, but to society. So government's job is to manage effectively the affairs of state. But you are correct. As individuals, as citizens of this country, we also have a duty. We have a duty to play our part, whether that be in terms of paying taxes, whether that be in terms of just living up to our civic duties in general, or whether that means holding government accountable. That's also us again as people. So it really is a team effort. And we know team stands for together, everyone achieves more. It's difficult, though, in a government that is politically polarized. We have one party left and one on the right. And then we have those who don't care too much about any party. But what is important is Jamaica. So the hope is that everybody, all the stakeholders recognize that we're in the business of building Jamaica. The moment we're able to have that, to get that to sink in, should be the moment when we become in sync with the development of our country.
Yes, and I understand all of that as well, because especially in my community, sometimes we don't see member of parliament until election time.
And that's because the people spoil them.
So if things need to get done, it's like you have to have we coming together as a community and going out there to let them know that, hey, this needs to be done. We need water, we need road, we need light, we need all of these things. And, because them want the vote, them will come and them will say, okay, them going to do this, them going to do that, and so and so. And if them don't win the
the seat.
The seat, then you don't see them again until it's the next election time. And I said it shouldn't be like that, and this is why everybody, the citizens, is behaving this way, because they realize that the result, they're not consistent, basically.
Yes.
And then they're not accountable. If them say them going to do something, them don't do it if them didn't win. Them don't say, all right, here what, I'm still going to do it because the next general election that's coming around, we want to make sure that the people are satisfied.
Yes, it's one of the things we have suggested over the years on this program is that what needs to happen long before any election is that there needs to be a team of volunteers at the constituency level. Yes, naturally you will find maybe one or two of the team members supporting the People's National Party, and maybe even equal numbers supporting both sides. That's fine. But what that should do is to represent the people. In other words, yes, there is supposed to be an elected representative, but what is important is a body of people from representing the entire community, those who are from who support the People's National Party, those who support the Jamaica Labour Party, and those who don't identify as a supporter of any other party.
Yeah.
And what should happen is that there should be some kind of a survey of, and I'm not talking Don Anderson polls, I'm talking real on the ground, as close as possible to being accurate, beyond an estimate, and this is where the data collection is important, whether the data that the census is collecting or the data that will be a part of the national identification system. The data is important because with the data now, we are able to say, okay, these are the people who live in this area. This is the number of people who live in this area. This percentage of them have a disability. This is the percentage of senior citizens here, etc. So we must have all the data on each constituency. And then we invite the people to, let's say, a town hall meeting in order to decide what should be the priorities of this constituency. What should be the priorities? And people attend the meeting and they put forward their position as to what should be the majority. And in a manner of speaking, the people vote. Those who say, yes, we're going to make the number one bridge up the road the priority. And those who say no, etc. And so you narrow it down to priorities, and then you tackle the issues that have to deal with the development of the constituency, one priority at a time. So when we talk of priority, what must we do right now? What do we need to do right now in this constituency? What is the most burning issue? And we take it from there, and whoever wins or loses the actual election, it means because of how the constituency council is set up, that there will be continuity. It's not going to just drop raps because this one lose or that one win. But there will be continuity because the people themselves are involved. I think I've been talking too much. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that really makes a lot of sense, because I think that is what the issue is. You know, they're not saying every now and again have a town hall meeting, as they said, gather the citizens, whether they win the seat, yes or no, and find out what is the issue that they can fix. And it's not like, because a lot of people expect instant gratification, so they expect everything to get done right now. So then what they need to do is help the people understand that, look here, everything not going to get done right now. Because
Rome wasn't built in a day. Yes.
Exactly. Everything takes time. So you just have to be patient with it, but we're going to stick with that it get done.
Right.
And if some get done, and we're going to make sure that the rest of it gets started, at least get started.
That's right.
And then we can take it from there.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not what's happening. And you have one party saying that this party, when election time comes, them criticizing the next party, this party criticizing the next party, instead of working together as a one, because it's one Jamaica, we're one people, we're Jamaicans.
That's right.
Coming together, whether you're from the opposition or you're the party in power, and say, here's what we're going to do. And list out a list of things that we're going to do as a team. And
That's
say,
right.
we're going to build a better Jamaica. Instead of the segregation, and then it's the same thing in the community, because PMP up the road and JLP down the road, and them at war when certain things, when election time comes.
And only the roads up the road are fixed, or the ones down the road are fixed. Yes.
And only because, I'm not fixing this road because that is not a part of my
constituency.
And this is why you have the people, and every time them call, is that the same complaint that the government now do this and government now do that. Because the government don't make it look like, say, here what, we are going to do everything that needs to be done as a team, instead of, the segregation and this person taking side and that person taking side.
Yes, indeed. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
At the same time, because a lot of people always talk about Jamaica as a third world country and all of that. I honestly believe that we are a first world country with a third world mindset, because I think a lot of people is so which is why things around them is not.
That's a beautiful way to put it, actually.
Yeah, and James Allen said it in his book that a man is willing to change his circumstances, but is unwilling to change himself. Therefore, he remains bound. And I think that is what's happening, because we want things to change, but we are not willing to be the change.
Yes. Got you. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the call. Please call again.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go-jamaica.com. Dr. Sharon Wiles is saying hello to her cousin, Albert Lewis, in Coconut Creek, Florida. Anthony Davis says, Mr. Malcolm, the man who was talking about the gays, I don't understand him. Is he saying that all gay men should try and have sexual tendency for women? Will he like an ex-gay man to marry his female relative? Asks Anthony Davis. And that's to the caller earlier on. And Kirk Matt D says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Did they copyright hashtag Miss Lou saying Jack Mandora Mina choose none? Please use it after Ras Lloyd is finished talking to you on the show. Thank you very much, Kirk Matt D. Let's go to the phone lines once again. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Buenas tardes.
¿Cómo está?
Muy bien. ¿Y usted?
Todo bueno. Yeah. Someone come, the young lady a while ago. She don't really understand the politics. We need to set up the constitution where it don't really cost a man much to really be a representative.
The cost?
Yeah, the cost. Because
Explain.
sometimes it costs a man a work of money to be an MP. So a man really spend a work of money and lose.
No, but you're not going to spend the money out of your pocket. You're going to spend the money that is for constituency development and related matters. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. National Irrigation Commission customers, you can now pay your bills online using your Visa credit card, MasterCard, or NCB key card by visiting the website www.nicjamaica.com. Select Pay Your Bill option, then follow the instructions, or visit any one of their office locations and pay using your debit card. The National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4h15. Tiens, TDN le Si Dien Shi Liao Fen. Time just changed from 15 to 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? Yes, young people, we know you're still on your summer break, but you know what we always say, even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Thanks for holding. Right, so the business of spending money out of your pocket, that would be, you do that at your own peril, quite frankly, because you're setting up yourself for all kinds of financial issues, as opposed to lobbying government for adequate funding for certain developments, etc. And you do your part and make it palpable clear that you have done your part or you are doing your part, so that when you turn the spotlight on a minister or a government or an agency that appears to be engaging in some kind of sabotage, for want of a more sophisticated word, then that spotlight will now turn on you, and you make sure that you are able to demonstrate that you have indeed been walking the straight and narrow. You have been using the established channels, but that there's an indication that people who don't mean you any good are trying to undermine the work that you're doing. So it's one thing to be doing the work. It's another thing just to be pointing a finger to say it's because this government or this MP or that minister didn't do this or that. The question will always come, what did you do? Where's the evidence of what you did and the steps that you took? Hello?
The thing that you said about the town hall meeting is a good thing, because sometimes you can choose some who, who you want to choose and stuff like that. But I think like the Constitution now, it should set up in the Constitution where it don't cost the person that much, because sometimes I'm coming out at caretaker kind of, and them say him run and him gone, but he have to go because whoever but if him come there, and him can't do nothing because he don't have the funds to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you're talking about a career politician.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, the young lady a while ago, I just told the thing set up a way where when one I go run, it cost come from the government. We everyone was really stick around, But our Jamaica politics so
it's not unique to Jamaica, actually. All over the world you need money.
You need money
to run a political campaign.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you always find the caretaker always have the out there. It's just like you see, enough people don't know the law, the Constitution. Like I would say, I'm on the shadow minister. One would think people get paid for all shadow minister, and the shadow minister don't get paid. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So shadow minister is only a speaker.
Well, he gets paid as a might get paid as an MP.
As an MP.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that people learn. People one have to take to the website and learn. And know about your constitution.
But the general hope, though, is that we could get to a point where we just respect, and I think we're not too far from it now. Some years ago, it was really bad. But I think we are at a point where we just need to sharpen our respective positions from the standpoint of, look, we are first of all human beings, then we are Jamaicans, if you look at it that way.
Yeah, but most people not think them way. Most people think them are PNP and them are GLP.
And nothing is wrong with being PNP or GLP.
So you have to be Jamaican first.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So that if Jamaica means more to you than one particular political party, then you are prepared to speak within the confines of the party's the party's rules. If, however, you feel that it is too constricting the rules of the party and do not allow for certain practices and decisions, then you have a choice. You could state it publicly that I am parting with this party because of so and so, and I might consider returning to this party if the party decides so and so, so and so. So, in other words, for us to just demonstrate a greater level of maturity.
Yeah.
Right? My party might be in power now, and your party is out of power. It doesn't mean we are enemies. It just means that democracy has taken shape. The democracy says, well, this election was held, the people had these concerns or that concerns. Not enough people felt that this government or that government or previous government deserved or deserves to get another term or deserve to get a term at all, etc. Whatever. And the people decide. And we have a record in Jamaica when it comes to the changeover of power, the changing of the guard, moving from one party to another, has been quite seamless. We haven't had the kind of animosity that some other countries have, for example. So it means we're not too far away from that point where we can argue, we can debate, and we can still have a drink. I don't drink, but we can still have a drink and reason, and everybody's all right. But that we are firm as a people that if a representative is not doing what he or she is supposed to be doing, that we're going to call out that individual. We're going to warn that individual that if he or she continues to disregard the needs of the people of the constituency, etc.
You hold them accountable.
So exactly. So we're not going to give them any free pass because it's my party or your party. We're going to give them a free pass. No. It can't be about that.
You don't feel they should teach civics in school or from the elementary level?
As early as possible, yes. I'm not sure. There was a stop-start. There was an attempt to restart that, and then it just faded away. And we're still asking the question, what happened to civics?
Yeah, most people ignorant, towards the Constitution. You know, it is very, sometimes, sometimes I can't even understand. I don't have words. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have reason with even the Rust they were reason with all the while. When Rust lied.
Yes.
Rust lied thing is just an easy thing. All Rust lied have to do is just save some money and make a trip. Simple enough.
But he wants the Queen to pay. Yeah, he wants the Queen to pay his way back to Africa, and not just his way, but everybody who wants to go back. The Queen should just pay for that, and they should just. I've been trying to get him to move beyond that. So when you get to, we're in Africa. Africa, the continent, has 54 countries. Yeah. Which one of them are you going to settle in? And who is going to make the decisions?
And the whole of them have different laws. You know?
There you go. I mean, Nigeria, and not laws alone, but languages. Nigeria, every time I try to remember, I have to double check it. The number of languages, like 500 and something languages.
Yeah, and China 47.
There you go.
So you see,
we need to be practical, though. Yes, man.
Just the language barrier alone, you know,
Mm-hmm.
very complicated.
Yeah.
You know, but me now will give away Jamaica. My poor parents them play for Jamaica. You know? So if me even take on Africa, me have Africa. Me know say Africa yes, because me now give you a continent, the island. But me my poor parents them don't play theatre. You understand? I establish theatre.
Yes.
So when me about when me is a brother.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hasta pronto.
Yes, man. We talk soon.
Llamate
Hasta
más
luego. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much for the call. All the best.
Bueno.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We see in the last 3 minutes, driver in America has called us. Let's go to him. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Brother Dervan, and good afternoon, Jamaica's home and abroad, and all lovers of Jamaica, you know?
Good afternoon.
Yes. I'm listening to your program this evening, and what you, Dr. Williams, Eric Williams, and his definition of democracy,
yes,
and independence speech. And you know, we look at even Trinidad, you know what I mean? No, you know, them have like all this hell between the Indians and the Trinidadians of Indian and Trinidadians of African descent. And you know what I mean? Over the years, the power struggle and this and that, and crime and everything. So, you know, it's not like a pasty and the hill we're looking at. You know, we understand what he was trying to say. And my Trinidad brethren and sisters, them, happy independence to you. You know, and I'm not criticizing the nation, but Dr. Williams, as a stalwart, I knew what he meant among the great Caribbean leaders. And I would like to bring it home here to Jamaica and say, well, it is our inability to, and many of these other countries, our inability to implement those very standards based on politics in Trinidad, in Jamaica, in the world. USA, as usual, is the great USA, you know, because we just do not try to, we cannot, it seems, based on just human
nature
shortcomings. Exactly. You know, we cannot, the ideals of democracy, you know, for one reason or another, we just cannot implement them because bad mind, covetous, this, that, you know, I'm talking in Jamaican context right now. And successive governments have tried to undo what others have done. Basically, coming down to where we are right now, my same song, I go by the results. I'm not going to nail anybody on any cross, you know what I mean? I'm going by where we are right now. And it is the inability of all these governments, administrations to date to really implement the ideals of democracy to get the people. And the people, no, let me come out the government and back for a minute. And as you and many others try to remind us, we the people are the ones who elect our representatives, our leaders. And I think the blame before we get to government, we need to do the Michael Jackson thing and start with the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, the child in the mirror, as you told that young lady just now. You know what I mean? And that is where it begins. But Brother Dervan, we can't get past that because this evening in the program, you see how much different opinion you get this evening on so many different topics.
Yeah.
Hello?
Such is the nature of a democracy.
Exactly. And the thing is for us to have ideals patriotic ideals, man, talk about Africa. So to a lot of people, it's the physical Africa. To me, it's like the children of Israel. It's not the physical Israel.
Hold on, one moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:31 on Power 106.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Que ahora es en español, son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5点加28分. Time changed from 4:31 to 4:32. It's 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Driver, you are at Israel.
To other people, they might say they're right, but to me, Garvey spoke of Africa and the Back to Africa thing because that was the time, that was the way it was at the time. But Africa, the Africa that Garvey spoke about and the Africa today, see that Ethiopia, war, famine, Africa is burning. You know what I mean? So who want to go on? But see the thing, what I'm saying is this, and the same thing I said all the time, we were liberated from there, as Joseph from his brothers, and brought to this island, Jamaica. And we're a special people as history has revealed, you know. But I say, as I tell you from time to time, we're the tip of the spear because we defined Africa. Everybody will come out right now afterwards, their identity to Jamaica. You know what I mean? All of the black nation after that. Because they crafted it off what we Jamaicans came into the Western world and portrayed to strangers the blackness, what black man was. You know what I mean? The Garvey, all of those coming down and before him. People think that politics started in Jamaica with PMP, Norman Manley and Buster. Way before that. And even they attributed, you know, the beginning to Garvey and them people way down in the early 20th century, PPP and all that like that. So we're not new to the democratic experiment, you know what I mean? And the ideals that they held. And even after them coming into Shira and the people like that coming into after independence and stuff like that, the ideals were there, but we got a bunch of people that say charlatans or whatever to infiltrate the political leadership. And I'm not saying all, you know, Brother Dervan, but it is the majority because the results speak. Here we are with a Jamaica, garbage, crime, everybody's scared, people talk, don't leave. You think it's a boy or girl to sit down and night and wonder if you're going to wake up in the morning, Brother Dervan. That is the way it is right now, you know. I know it is dread over in these places also, but in our little Jamaica, it should not come to that. There's a call, I think it's Zimbabwe, who always say Jamaica is the size of a Sudan in comparison to other nations. Why is it so difficult to govern such a small place, sir?
The people.
Over all these years.
Therein lies the people.
You know, and that is it. So when we go and talk and this and that and so, we have to repair ourselves. And a lot of the people who have an idea of what they would like Jamaica to be, who are still alive, it's time for you to move because a lot of these new people who populate the nation, they patriotism and them thing that lost on them, you know what I mean? They can blow any way. So, rather than just seeing the nation go to hell, which is brother Dervan, we laugh and we talk and we have way different, we could get together and we, brother Gil, we also we love the morphine. You know what I mean? It's like we're addicts, you know what I mean? Get high and you could get together and this one I put on shoe and back to school. And people are holler about, oh, the picking have no money to go to school and government in a bedroom produce picnic with the, you know what I mean? A lot of people, that's where the biggest oppression come from, Rasta man, they calling and say, oh, if you talk the nice, can picnic coming like bird and tree, God provide them and they will. That is where our biggest problem is coming from, the unplanned pregnancies and stuff like that, and subsequently kids growing up with direct
we're losing a bit of what you're saying now. Kids growing up with what? Repeat. Kids growing up with.
People without bearing, you know what I mean? People without political bearing, without, just you can't even relate to where they are, and it's not just the people.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have changed your position or you're at the original position, but the quality of the audio is deteriorating. We're not hearing you as clearly as we were earlier.
Yeah, I'm traveling, unfortunately. What I would can't cope with this, Africa is where we Africa, we were out here, Jamaica. Selected for us to. Are you hearing me, brother Dervan?
A little better now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, it is my divine works that we Africans were sent to Jamaica to pilot the rest of the African people. Consider the continent is going to hell. They can't even come together to form a trading block or anything like that because of all the corruption and
losing you again.
We were sent to the violence. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm traveling, so it won't get much better.
All right, let's leave it there for now, though. Hope next time we speak, the line will be much better. Thanks for the call. All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Veril, who's vacationing in Jamaica, says it's the same bin Albert is talking about in reference to Chudley in Manchester. More messages. Natalie Winter says, good afternoon all from Washington Gardens, enjoying the discourse on YouTube. Keep up the great work. And Patrick Howell asking, is it true that the new Riverton dump site will be in Vernham Field in Clarendon? I don't know, Patrick. Democracy should have a food component, especially for the poor, says Patrick. Alvin Daly says, Brother Dervan, tell him it is legalized so he can say it, in reference to Rascava earlier on in our conversation. He says, please tell Rascava that there are a lot of people who would like to see the backs of Rastas and will come up with funds for the trip. Africa will need skilled people. Alvin Daly says, Brother Dervan, partisan politics is what is destroying Jamaica. Natalie Winter says, individuals have rights in Jamaica. What they do in their profession and private business is their priority. Whether or not marriage takes place, it's up to the parties involved in the relationship and the choices they make and what they are prepared to put up with, says Natalie. She goes on to say, society's impact on individuals and strong individuals can change the society. Errol in, which one of the Errols is this? I think this is Errol from New Jersey saying, I love the program. Too nice conversation. Natalie says the caller has a point. Look, society looks on a girl who has a child as real woman and has a child. Make you a woman. Sad but true. And some more coming through. David Allen says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Do you know that in 1980, 500,000 Jamaican dollars could buy 10 three-bedroom houses in Bridgeport and Edgewater? I'm talking from experience. These days, 500 Jamaican dollars cannot even buy a very good used car. It's called inflation, David Allen. And Kirk MacD, thank you very much for your message as well. I'm sure there was another one I missed, but let's go back to the phone lines. 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello.
Mr. Malcolm?
Yes, Mr. Coombs.
Good evening. Are you about Riverton City? I got Vernon Field.
No. Somebody was asking a question. Mr.
I don't believe that. I was on Cliffwood's program. Mr. Hilton and Mr. Dennis Shaw was on it Monday night, and I go and choose. And Riverton City have about 60 more years. I know the whole about Mr. Malcolm. I live there from...
No, I'm saying, Mr. Coombs, somebody was asking a question. The person was asking, is it true that the new Riverton dump site will be in Vernon Field, Clarendon?
I don't believe that, Mr. Malcolm.
Okay.
But, Mr. Malcolm, if you go to Vernon Field and people are complaining, listen, when I just come to Kingston, you know where it was? Where to the Maple Cemetery, there's a police station, you know.
Well, it hasn't moved.
Sir?
It hasn't moved. Because that's exactly how Maple Cemetery has been looking for some time now.
Right. You see a concrete place here? Those there, there's somewhere they put out there. You can lock it down and lift it up until it's over. So when one side empty, them turn around, it can go on the other side. And fire was there from 6 to 6 from Monday to Monday. So I don't know what people talk about, but anyway, the population get 10 times bigger now. So this is the best place. Every parish or every place have a place to put them down. So
all right. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Here's Sean. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Uncle Dervan. Malcolm, how are you doing, sir?
I am giving thanks for life, and you?
I am great. I'm doing great so far. How is the day going so far, Uncle Dervan? I'm here taking it easy.
Good for you. I'm taking it easy too.
Yes. I want to call in to big you. I also want to pick up the callers that I speak. I want to pick up Natalie Winters, Steve, and Russ Carper, and June as well. Also doctors.
I'm sure they appreciate the big up.
Just talk to you a while ago.
Yes. Yes, that was Mr. Coombs.
Hello?
I'm saying the caller who spoke a while ago was Mr. Coombs. Oh dear. Looks like... Yes, Sean. Go ahead.
Hello? Yes? Yes, Uncle Dervan.
It looks like you're having phone issues again.
Yes, I'm here. How to call in to big you up?
That's very kind of you. Thanks for the call.
Yes, hold on a second. I want to big Steve and Natalie and June as well, and Rastafari.
Hope they're still listening. Much. Thank you. Take care.
Yes, you're welcome. All the time I talk to you.
Sure.
Take care.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Thanks a lot. Que hora es en español? Son las 5:15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:15. 现在几点了？5点加15分. 15 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's share some history with you. How about that? Let's look at this now. The world's first motor vehicle crash victim was Mary Ward, an Irish scientist who was killed when she fell under the wheels of an experimental steam car built by her cousins. It happened on this day in 1869. And since we're on the cusp of returning to school, here's a bit of history on an educational entity. Maria Montessori was born on this day in 1870. Maria Montessori was an educator and founder of the Montessori schools. She was the first woman to attend medical school and the first female doctor of medicine in Italy. Maria Montessori worked with the physically challenged and socially deprived children, developed the unique educational method known as the Montessori method, and today the Montessori schools bear her name. Maria Montessori, born on this day in 1870. The first tennis championships in the USA were played on this day in 1881. The annual, listen to this, 1886. Now, just yesterday we learned that our murder rate passed, what was it, 1003? 1003, I think. That was the figure I heard. Well, on this day in 1886, the annual report of the Inspector General of Police stated that cutting and wounding were the main offenses among women as among men, and most manslaughter cases, as well as murder, poisoning, and the use of acid, were caused by jealousy. On this day in 1886, the annual report of the Inspector General of Police stated that cutting and wounding were the main offenses among women as among men, and most manslaughter cases, as well as murder, poisoning, and the use of acid, were caused by jealousy. And while we're on how we've been treating ourselves and treating each other in terms of crime, can we take you, let's take you back a few years. Let's see, came across some numbers. Let's take you back to 2004. On this day in 2004, the Gleaner published a story indicating that statistics supplied by the police showed that Police Commissioner Francis Forbes had presided over the highest incidence of murder in a single year, 1,139 in 2001. Forbes, who up to this day in 2004 held his position for nearly 8 years, also had the unenviable record of some 15,526 murders being committed under his leadership of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. In case you missed it, on this day in 2004, the Gleaner published a story indicating that statistics supplied by the police showed that Police Commissioner Francis Forbes had presided over the highest incidence of murder in a single year, 1,139 in 2001. Forbes, who up to this day in 2004 held his position for nearly 8 years, also had the unenviable record of some 15,526 murders being committed under his leadership of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. Now here's some history, some more history, going back a bit. Under J.R. Middleton's leadership, murders were 152 at the start of his tenure in 1970 and 232 when he left office in 1973. Once again, under J.R. Middleton's leadership, murders were 152 at the start of his tenure in 1970 and 232 when he left office in 1973. B.L. Robinson found the murder rate at 232 in 1973 and left it at 409 in 1977. D.O. Campbell served as police commissioner from 1977 to 1980 and saw the most dramatic increase in crime over the period, from 409 in 1977 to 889 in 1980. That reduction of that figure was just as dramatic in 1982 when W.O. Bose left office. The murder rate dropped from 889 in 1980 to 405 in 1982. That figure went up by 79 by the time J.E. Williams demitted office in 1984, having served for 2 years. There were 77 murders by the time H.E. Ricketts served his term as police commissioner from 1984 to 1991, the rate moving from 484 to 561. That figure grew by 103 to 654 at the end of R.E. Thompson's 2-year tenure in 1993. Things took a turn for the worse when, under the leadership of Colonel Trevor McMillan, the murder rate jumped from 654 in 1993 to 925 in 1996, an increase of 271 by the time Colonel Macmillan left office. And up to this day in 2004, Francis Forbes presided over a slight overall decline from 1996 to 2004, a drop of 25, moving from 925 in 1996 to 900 on this day in 2004. And while we are, let's see, a couple of other stories. That takes us to 2000. In fact, we're going to come back. What time is it? All right. We're coming close to the end. There's another bit of information for those who are familiar with the Terra Nova Hotel. The Terra Nova Hotel received its first guests as a hotel and restaurant on this day in 1959. The property was purchased by businessman and hotelier Abe Issa of West Indies and Caribbean Development Limited. The name Terra Nova means new land or new earth, and was given the name by the previous owners who used it as their home. The Terra Nova was originally a colonial mansion built in 1924 on 10 acres of land. It was built by Mr. Harold Alexander as a wedding gift to his wife. The property was later acquired by the Myers family. That name should ring a bell because it's synonymous with the famous Myers rum, which used to be featured in movies. Back then, Terra Nova was sold to Mr. C.B. Lindo in 1937, and a year later was acquired by Major Blackwell. When the Terra Nova restaurant and hotel opened on this day in 1959, it had as its first general manager Kurt Seller, a Swiss hotelier. At the time, the hotel had about 13 rooms. A £75,000 expansion was undertaken between 1966 and 1967. This increased the capacity of the hotel by 15 rooms and provided more spacious dining and meeting facilities for the hotel. Today, the gracefully balustraded Terra Hotel stands proudly on 2.5 acres of tropically landscaped grounds with the famous Blue Mountains as a backdrop. And a reminder that we're in the hurricane season. Tropical storm Donna became Hurricane Donna on this day in 1960. 2 days earlier, on August 29, Donna formed near Cape Verde off the African coast. Over the next 2 weeks, Donna would go on to cause 150 deaths from Puerto Rico to New England. And on this day in 1960, Hurricane Donna headed west towards the Caribbean Sea. It was a Category 4 hurricane by the time it reached the Leeward Islands on September 4. Donna wreaked havoc on Puerto Rico and a portion of the Bahamas before turning northeast towards Cuba and the Florida Keys. That was 1960. I think we have another hurricane of note. 1969, Hurricane Francella, the sixth of the season, dumped heavy rains and squalls and gale force winds over southern and western Jamaica on this day in 1969. Following closely in the wake of Camille, which at the time was the most violent storm in the history of the Western Hemisphere, Hurricane Francella dumped heavy rains and squalls over most of the island. Francella came within 159 miles of Jamaica's south coast. Although this was not close enough for her punch coastal areas with her, not close enough for her to punch coastal areas with her 75-mile-an-hour winds. It was near enough to cause high winds in gusts, particularly in the south and eastern parts of the island. How about 1972? The price of chicken necks and backs at Shoppers Fair Supermarket was 17 cents per pound. Mince was 43 cents per pound. And oxtail was 39 cents per pound. At Lane Supermarkets, Constant Spring Road, and Lane Plaza in St. Andrew, the price of Ballantine whiskey, or was it Ballantine? Ballantine whiskey was $5.85. Mateus rose wine was $2.10, and Tia Maria liqueur was being sold at $1.20 per pint and $2.30 per quart. What a thing. The first Black Film Festival in Jamaica, which should have opened on this day in 1974 at the Carib Theatre, was postponed because of the threat of Hurricane Carmen, which was approaching the island. The postponement was a bitter disappointment for promoter and organizer Barbara Blake, now Barbara Blake Hanna. Among the film stars attending were Cicely Tyson, Jim Brown, Paula Kelly, Ben Casey, Rosalind Cash, Fred Williams, Pam Greer, William Marshall, Vonette McGee, and Gloria Hendry. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, on this, the 25th anniversary of the death of Princess Diana, Princess of Wales. This is Dervan Malcolm on behalf of the team, reminding us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
Bye.